Hi, welcome to episode 31 of Digital ILIAD. We're making an FTL-like in Godot. As always, I'm Dave. And today we're working on refactoring our code, our cutaway code that controls our visibility into the ship. We've changed our ship composition so that each layer or deck of the ship is its own tile map. This allows us to place scene collections in the tile map at the z-index of the given layer, which we weren't able to do when we used a single tile map with layers, with like tile map layers for each ship layer, which I'm going to call decks normally, like deck 1, 2, 3, 4. And so, yeah, we're going to work on that because our code is not built to handle that. And it needs to. So here it is at the moment. We need a shell for this too. We need like a nice exterior shell. That's something I need to draw out. Now that we're reasonably happy with the test map. I say reasonably happy. I'm still pretty unhappy with how the symmetry line has basically ruined the design's ability to do anything interesting in terms of pathfinding. So definitely something we're going to move away from in the future. But for testing, it's okay. So we previously had a single script that would, I'm just going to get rid of these, or at least this one. Use the maximum ship extents one, I guess. I don't know. No, forget it. Get rid of a bunch of our old test maps there. So we had an old script that would handle all of this called old shipboard. And this would extend from tilemap. So we'll pretty much do that again. We called the new one shipboard as well. This is the current one that handles the cutaway stuff. It took a bunch of the cutaway stuff from the input handler. It took over. Oh, 1 second. Sorry, I'm experiencing quite a bit of seasonal allergies this year. Normally, it's not so bad where I live, but there's been so much rain. I think everything's growing like crazy this year. So I think we're going to make a new script. This is shipboard, and this was intended to handle the entire ship. We need to rethink some of this if we're going to handle it deck by deck. I have a ship manager, which is supposed to represent the ship as a whole. I don't know if we want a deck manager specifically that handles like interstitial code separately from any kind of concept of the ship manager, but we'll just do it all on there if we need it, and we'll spin it off if that becomes an issue later. ship deck. Curious to see how we're going to get this to work, get these to work collaboratively. So it extends node. That is incorrect. It is going to extend tilemap. Let's start picking and choosing. We can have a cutaway minimum and maximum per level. That's tempting. I guess my main concern is how we're going to handle input again. We spun a bunch of the input off of the input handler, but I think we'll put it back on the input handler to an extent. Like at least preparing, like pulling the raw input and tuning it. I guess what we want is an external system that handles layer changes. And then we can deal with the consequences of each layer change within the appropriate deck. Probably using signals. Or I guess signals are not appropriate. Well, I guess it would be, since it's an autoloader that would be signaling. I don't know. Maybe we don't want that on the autoload. A lot of open questions about how we want to do that. But yeah, I guess let's sort out the input first. I mean, I guess we don't technically need to have a script on every one of these decks. We could just have a manager that handles it for us. That's maybe the better way to do it. I don't know. I think I would prefer having it handled per deck. I don't know. I guess we'll want an export variable for now. That's the layer. So we can at least record the number. I think having minimum and maximum. Per layer makes a lot of sense. The inputs will be more responsive because it would ignore inputs outside of. Maybe it wouldn't be a constant then. Maybe the best way to do it would be to set it up as an onReady variable, because I just don't want to define it manually. I want to be able to like draw the shape and then have it figure out where its maximum extents are. Probably better. Because it's not technically an onReady variable. This is actually a vector 4. This would be minimum, maximum, origin. I guess we'll use minimum, maximum. Sorry for any sniffling sounds that come through. So we need to get the layer, or not the layer. Yeah, I guess we do need to get all of it, huh? Is there a way to just get all of the used cells? Is it get used cells? Is there like a layer version of that that ignores? I don't think so. Get used cells. We have to send the layer. I guess for defining the extents, we only need the wall layer. Should be fine. So the hull is layer 1. So for tile and whole tiles, actually, I guess. Okay, numerical infinity is float based. I mean, I could just use an arbitrarily large number that I know is outside of whatever's reasonable. I guess it doesn't matter. We're just trying to find the extents. Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, let's just make this arbitrarily small and large. I already know. This is, actually, I guess, pick, like, really int dot. Are there any int constants? Oh, I guess I could just grab this. It'll wrap around. Oh, that's fine. It's like overkill to use that, but give me the whole number. There we go. Not okay, whatever. Well, that's ridiculous, but that's what we're gonna do. I guess this isn't actually what I want, because that'll never want the opposite of that, I guess. It's a silly way to do it, but it'll work. I could just say deck extents. Hey, Theron Keen. You just dropped in here and see the biggest numbers you've ever seen. Oh, what's going on, dude? Nothing. We're defining. We're going to be checking to see what the minimum and maximum extents of these tile maps I'm drawing are. We're just going to be checking it programmatically. So I was grabbing the smallest and largest possible signed integer values that Godot uses, just so that we always overwrite them. Because if we use like 0 or whatever, I mean, we don't have to use them. I'm going a little crazy, but we were just using those values just for fun. So whatever actual minimum extents is always going to be smaller than this. Maximum extents will always be larger than that, so we'll overwrite them every time. But anyway, thanks for coming by. We're making like a little FTL-like in Godot, except it's kind of like an isometric 3D version. This is just a little concept art piece of what a ship bridge might look like. If I could just do deckextents.xy. Like, I wish I could just grab those. Oh, sick, man. FTL was incredible. Looks like something I'd play. I'd love to hear that. Yeah, FTL is amazing. Still amazing. We're trying to do something a little different. By introducing verticality, I'm hoping to like really lean into the character pathfinding and like maybe other cool fun Star Trek kind of things like rerouting power. This test map is not a great example of it, but we're just trying to get the basic functionality. Our big problem is the visibility issues that come from a side-on isometric perspective. So we have a cutaway system, but we've switched to this multi-tile map method of having a tile map per layer, so we're having to refactor some of our code for this. So we're making some changes. But yeah, thank you for the follow. I do hope that someday this is something you would like to play. That is the goal. But yeah, I'm still learning Godot. I'm not comfortable with it yet. Like, I wish I could just go, like, I wish I could just get part of this vector. I should probably just split it up into two separate things. Minimum extent. Max extent. Then we don't have to worry about splitting it up like this. Just grab it. You're only just now making your first real game, so I think you're a little more complex. This project is probably too complicated for the first game. I was a Unity hobbyist programmer for a long time, like about 15 years, so I'm not like totally out of my element, but it is a new engine, and unlike a lot of the Unity refugees, I'm trying to learn GDScript instead of just doing everything in C#. So there's a bit of a learning curve, but I love Godot's native 2D support. It is so much better than anything Unity has for 2D. But that's really cool. Are you also working in Godot? Love to hear about the game you're working on. You're picking up GDScript pretty well. Oh, I also have poor programming fundamentals. Don't worry about that. That's why I'm messing around with these. numbers here. We're programming Randy style, where you start with the caveman implementation, you wait until the caveman implementation is no longer viable, and then you do a slightly less caveman implementation. And that is our iteration cycle in terms of programming. If tile is less than minimum extent, minimum extent is tile. Easy. If tile is greater than maximum extent, maximum extent is tile. This way we aren't hard coding these values. We were hard coding them previously based on like the maximum possible ship size, which is gone now, which I don't have anymore. But I wanted it a little more responsive, so we're actually going to get the maximum minimum extent for each layer. You're making a Vampire Survivor style game, but with a color changing mechanic for the player to make the combat more interesting. And it's airship themed rather than just little dudes. That sounds really cool. I know a few people working on a Vampire Survival Styles game. That is a good, kind of first kind of game to make. Because there's so much depth to those kinds of mechanics, but it's still a lot more approachable than like, a tactical roguelike, I guess. That's really cool. I've been playing Halls of Torment, which is a Vampire Survivors like. Made in Godot, actually. I've been playing it on my Steam Deck. I've been really enjoying it. It's been really cool. You're kind of like running through like the levels of hell. It's got some Diablo elements to it, but it is very much still a Vampire Survivors like. And I've poured quite a bit of time into this. This has like been my fun, just like playing in bed kind of game from my Steam Deck. I got a Steam Deck over the holidays, and I've been really enjoying it. It's been but yeah, that's made in Godot, so there's some pretty sweet performance you can get. Yeah, it's cool. Check it out. It's like $5. Yeah, there's nothing too terribly complex. Yeah, emphasis on two to code for Vampire Survivors. That's true. I do think the performance considerations can be significant. Oh well. So we have our simplest minimum maximum extent. Can I do this? No. Setting. Do I have to do like 2-string? Is that a thing that we do? Is it like that? Say like vector 2i dot 2. How do I stringify these things? Still learning the limits of what I can do. Here. You played, what's the little necromancer one? Bone Razor minions? That sounds cool. Mob Mania is fun but not well balanced. And Scarlet Tower. Yeah, it sounds like you are quite familiar. Let's throw this on. Let's throw one of these on here. Oh, we don't do it like that. We do it like this. And just see what we get. See if we get garbage or if we get the correct values. -3, -7, and 4, 8. All right, let's quickly verify that. -3, -7. Or 8. Yep, that's it. Okay, so that's working. That's good. So let's throw some of those on each of these. Print stir your code here. Okay, that's how you get it in a string. All right. Print stir. Okay. So I could do like this. You do that, yes. Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, that's what I'm... My main learning blocks has been just like syntactical differences, stuff that I take for granted in like C# that you just can't do, like function overloads. Doesn't seem like GDScript likes doing function overloads, where you have the same function calls but with just different parameters. Doesn't seem to like that. Except for signals, it seems like you can overload signals. Which I guess is the way you get around that. Alright, well that's super simple and easy. So we've got our minimum and maximum extents. We needed that. Oh yeah, because we were going to define that per level. We need like above. We're writing these scripts for each layer so that each layer handles as much behavior as possible on its own, but we do need an overarching layer that determines which layer is active. I think we want it to be the input handler, which is an autoloader that we've been using. Do we still have that enabled, or did we remove it? We still have it. Okay. So I think we want to rewrite the input handler. Cutaway speed. I think we can still make that a thing here. So accumulator we're not really going to use. Maybe we will. Do we want the accumulation to happen here? This is all nonsense. This was me trying to like relate the XY motion into the isometric space in a way that is kind of dumb and not probably the correct way to do it. So let's just get rid of that for now. So we're accumulating the inputs here. I don't know if we want to do that. We probably just want to grab the raw input here. Cutaway input. Just call it cutaway input force. And we'll take this, add it on here so we get all three. Take this and ignore it for now. We'll eventually want... Oh, oops. What is it? It's Control K. Yeah. Get rid of that. We're already defining this. So we need all of this times cutaway speed times delta. And then the accumulator we will move down somewhere else. This is all super old, obsolete code. Guess we'll keep it for now in case we need it. I don't love that. I probably should just get rid of it. Cutaway input force is not a variable. It's something we have. So is your cutaway system using the current active deck shape to hide the layers above it for visibility? Yes, and it's not just hiding the layers above it. It is hiding the layers above it, but it's also letting you cut into whatever the topmost visible layer is, so you can peel walls off along each axis. At the moment it goes tile by tile, but I think we're going to want it going room by room. We also might want to just call all foreground walls, quote unquote, which I'm calling walls that are foreground walls, or any walls that are in front of a floor tile. We might want to just call those by default. I'm not sure. I kind of want to try that. But we're going to implement this first. Let's get rid of these. I gotta clean this up. This is so crafty here. Vector 3, not 2. Okay, so our autoloader will do that. Oh, we also need our autoloader to control which... Well, maybe not the active. Maybe we'll layer this a bit. Maybe we'll have the ship manager, which I might actually rename to deck manager. And I might change it to a node instead of a node 2D. Well, I don't know. I guess it could be a node 2D. I guess it doesn't matter. Actually, I guess we'll just call it ship manager. Ship manager. And we'll make a ship manager script. And we'll have that one control the layers. Ship manager. Oh god, lol, I commend you on your bravery. I'd have to do a laser solution, but you're always going to be gorgeous when you're done. We're hoping. We're a little concerned that the perspective that we're using is a bit of a cursed problem. Like, this is just kind of a mess. And obviously peeling away the top layer helps. Peeling away the foreground walls will help. I actually haven't even told you the craziest part of this yet, which is that we're going to do camera rotation. So we'll be able to rotate the camera 90 degrees in either direction. Yes way. We're going to actually, I'm working on the calculation for it, but we're going to redo the tile map so that the tile map can tell based on, and by tile map I mean tile set. We're going to redo the tile set so that it can handle it. So it's like, if the wall looks like this under this rotation, if you rotate 90 degrees clockwise, you'd end up with this. So we're gonna use Atlas chords as a mapping system for the tiles. I'm not sure if I'm gonna just create a ton of duplicate tiles in a huge sprite sheet to handle this, or if we'll end up with a dictionary that maps it. But yeah, then that at least solves the problem of doing it this way. Handling the scene collections under rotation are going to be a little more complicated, things like doors and stuff, but there are significantly fewer of those. So yeah, we're doing We're doing some pretty bizarro stuff here. All right. So we'll have a topmost deck. We'll make this also an export variable. Otherwise, I'm not sure how we're going to define it. Which I guess I should do. So deck number, this is deck number 4. 3, 2, 1, and then in the ship manager, oh, I need to attach the script. Topmost deck is 4. Man, that's wild doing that in 2D. Did you rule out just doing it in 3D with like billboard sprites for the walls? I did. I couldn't, because of the weird isometric angle thing, it's a little awkward to try to draw those as billboard sprites or draw those as like sprite 3D and get it to work well. I did consider and tried out doing low poly 3D and using the viewport to downres everything, kind of like a short hike or other games like that. But we didn't go with that. Mainly in terms of workflow, because like I'm doing the 2D art by myself and this is about what I can achieve, but I am not good at 3D art, and if we went the 3D route, I would be really at the mercy of asset packs like Cinti or other free asset packs that I scrounged together, and I wanted enough of a unified visual look that I thought I would stick with the 2D. I wouldn't say I'm good at it. This is like also my first main big pixel art project. We're definitely pushing the limits of what I can do along every dimension, but I've also got a day job. And I've worked on long projects like this before. I actually really enjoy the art. I wasn't expecting to enjoy making the pixel art as much as I do, but the feedback loop of making art is so short compared to programming, where you'll work on something for like days or weeks or even longer and get like very little feedback on it, but art is just so immediately readable. And you get such an instantaneous idea of whether the art that you're working on is working or not. You're trash at art, you're commissioning an art streamer for enough art to make a vertical slice for the demo. That's what you gotta do. Vertical slice. That's what we're doing. We are focused solely on developing one ship encounter. So a single FTL style ship encounter. We're going to ignore progression, we're going to ignore story, we're going to ignore meta progression or any of that. We're going to just work on the core loop of a single ship encounter, and we are going to just polish the hell out of that, and we're going to figure out what's fun. And if it works, then we can start thinking about actually making a game. So we've got the topmost deck. So I guess in process, we will read from the input and do the accumulation. We'll call it a cutaway accumulator Z. It's going to be a float. Cutaway coordinates Z. I guess we don't need to call it all this, but it's what I've been using. Yep, that's your plan. Just make one level with all the necessary enemies plus one boss, and then polish and balance until I get the best mix of fun. That's it. A lot of people say don't get too preoccupied with art and polish and everything when you're still like gray boxing and prototyping the mechanics, but I'm also streaming good development of this, so I feel like prioritizing the readability and the approachability of everything is good. And it just helps me being able to see what it actually should look like. And I'm learning a lot about like animation and stuff, both in the engine and just in terms of drawing. It's definitely slower. All right, so every frame we are going to get the input variable cutaway input force z is going to be input handler dot cutaway input force dot z. Topmost. I feel like topmost could arguably be 2 words. I like that better. I do not. Topmost. I'm arguing that topmost is 1 word. Yeah, you've played enough games. You feel comfortable going into this with some confidence. You're going to finish the game regardless. We'll consider Steam publication success for the sales. That's the attitude to have. Unless you've like, quit your day job and you've committed to, making an indie game. Like unless you're like Aramis, I wouldn't worry about that stuff. That sounds awesome. I'm very interested in keeping an eye on the progress. Are you streaming it at all, or do you have like are you thinking about doing devlogs or anything, or are you just kind of happy to work in a vacuum? Which I know is like the hardest part about being a solo dev is like just working without feedback or collaboration. Okay, how do I handle this stuff? I got rid of all the code that told me how I handled it, huh? It's here. Let's just grab this. Put that here and just see what it looks like. Cutaway accumulator Z. Cutaway accumulator Z plus cutaway input force Z. Zero. Topmost deck. Get. Do we make this a property? Is this how you do it? I don't remember how the setter getter works. In GD script. Let's grab that. Setter getter. This is where they talk about it. This is not right. This is like I'm in something else. Add a colon at the... Oh, hey, Captain Fubar. In with this, coming in with the save. Aaron, you haven't streamed Dev yet, but you and your kids are both working on it. Oh, that's awesome. You're making social media accounts and stuff for a studio for us. So you'll be doing content as soon as you get the first art commission back from the artist. That is really cool. Hey, Captain Fubar. We are working on some stuff. We are working on... We have our layers of ship decks here that we've remade as separate tile maps for reasons that I can get into. But it's not crucial. So we're refactoring our cutaway code to work with separate tile map layers. So we're kind of just blowing stuff up and rebuilding it here. Variable integer colon set value. Okay. Doesn't feel right. Oh, do I need the arrow? I've done this before. GD script and I don't remember what I did. It doesn't need to be a property. God, I'm so bad at GD script syntax. Oh, 4.3 stable comes out. It'll have a major change in the tile map system. Well, don't tell me that. I'm. Oh, okay. Expected colon after get. Is it like this? Not all code paths return a value. That's fine. I don't know. I don't actually want to set... Oh, now it's expecting parentheses. I don't know. This doesn't... We don't need to do it this way. We're just being silly. Get has no parameter. Set has one. Set value. I was just trying to protect cutaway coordinate Z, but... I'm having streamer brain right now where, like... I just need to look at this. I know you're trying deeply to help me here. Setter, getter, GD script. I just need to, like, see one person's implementation of it. Ah, I see. Yeah, you don't know what getters and setters are. They're methods to handle the assignment or return of the property value. Yeah, it's like a way that we can just define, like, the way we can protect private variables and have more public access. Yeah, so like this. Okay. I see. I see how to do this now. I say. Ah, return. Oops. That's what I was missing. I've been missing a return. That's why it's like not all code paths return a value. I need a return. Yeah, I don't know if GDScript is whitespace formatted, so indentation matters. I don't know how much I love that. I'm still like a C# boy who's just like struggling to learn GDScript, but I want to. I very much want to. We also don't need to set this. We need to change this to be cutaway coordinates Z. Low GDScript allows for some syntax use like parentheses or semicolon and line endings. Quite tolerant in that aspect. We're glad to have you here in GDScript land, dude. If I ever have to type a bunch of curly braces, I'd rather eat dirt. Oh, yeah. I don't mind. Especially because I'm the kind of person that, like, blows up. I use, like, separate lines for, like, vector declarations. Like, I prefer doing stuff like this. Mainly because I don't have, like, a ton of screen space. And I'm always have to be careful to double indent now and stuff like that. Okay, so we're setting our input force. The ship manager is using that input force to control what layer is the current layer. Don't really need a ready call here. Can add it back. We are not using delta. So now we need already. We need our parent. We need our ship manager. I think it's just like, is it that? Variable ship manager. Oh, I need like get node. No, I can just say this dot dot. God, I don't know how to, I don't remember the get node shortcuts. Let's grab that. Newbie here. What? Let's get that syntactical sugar. I just want the parent. Oh, yeah, use dot dot to get a parent node. They don't want me to do that, but I kind of want to do it anyway. Oh, just get parent. God. Okay, that's too obvious. Thank you. Thank you, Captain Fubar. Bottom left, you have that little arrow. It hides the script panel for more editor real estate. Oh, that's nice. By the way, in 4.3, the tilemap layers are moved out of the tilemap node into their own tilemap layer nodes. Does that mean it's like essentially like handling what I've done here, but like actually handling it directly within the tilemap? So everything I'm doing here is pointless? Yes. Okay, well that's dope. Because I assume they were having the same problem I was having, which is that when these were when these were just layers within a tile map and I went to add a scene collection like a door, the scene collection was not respecting the Z index of the tile map layer. So I couldn't just place doors or other scene collection nodes that I had on the layer because it would just use whatever the nodes, whatever the scene's like Z index was. Does this fix that? Basically, but don't worry, stable version won't come out soon. Okay, well, I look forward to rewriting all of my code at that time. I mean, I could adopt the unstable version, yeah? I don't want to, but I guess I could. It's not like I'd risk much except like what crashes and stuff. Possible project corruption. Well, thanks for dropping the science and the knowledge here. That's good to know. Not sure, but I don't think the current tilemap node will deprecate. Yeah, that's okay. I mean, I definitely want it to work like the way you've described, because at the moment we're going to need to have logic for like moving nodes between the tile maps now. And that sounds like that's going to be obsolete soon, but I'm okay. Nothing like a good refactoring. All right, so we've got we've got everything. The ship manager is calculating the current layer for us. And so now we just need to do all of this. We just need to do all of this. Oh, including all of these. Let's grab these and get these in here, because we are going to need these so that we can actually reset the tiles, cutaway tile cells. So what do I need? I need a few things. I need the cutaway tile cells. So we don't need layer. So I actually don't, I overwrote this because this was based on having to handle the Z stuff. So our cutaway tiles can still be what is it? What did we use for this? Did we use a dictionary? I don't know why we did. If we did, we did. Why is this a dictionary and not an array? It's not so I can do has, is it? I feel like array has that. B, C, D, E. No, it does have has. So why was it? What are we setting as the value? How does this code that I wrote a week ago even work? Oh, it's a Boolean indexed by the tilemap cell coordinates. That is true. We will do it that way, and we will look for a cleaner way to do it soon. But we will currently do it that way for cleanup reasons. It's kind of like setting it as dirty using a Boolean, which is not optimal. We will do it. Cutaway tile. We'll need to call these cells. The way cells and tiles are used interchangeably bothers me. Like, it's tile maps, so why aren't they just tiles? Why are they cells? Whatever. Who cares? Clear if cutaway tiles. So we don't need the layer. Oh no, we do need to set the layer because the layer. Oh, this sucks because now we're using multiple layers. I have to rethink a little bit of this. Oh no, we're only using the walls. So at the moment, we only really need to clear away the walls. We can ignore the floors. It's one of those cases where like I copied over some code and I probably should have just rewrote it. Probably have been simpler. But it's a good way for me to remember what we are trying to do here. I guess the simplest thing to do is to check. The first thing we're going to do is check if we are the current layer. Which I guess we should call something else. But we're going to call it current layer for now. If ship manager dot current layer is the same as our deck number. So if we are the chosen one, deck number -1. So if we are the chosen one, we'll do one thing. And if I guess we should just do a match, huh? Probably be easier than just doing a bunch of nested if statements. Can I put operators in a match? Can I have the like less than, greater than, equals to? Where am I? I'm getting lost. Like if I say match I say like equals to deck number -1. No. Expected expression, so I just need to say this again? Do I need to just repeat myself? Oh, I see. So well, I want to know if it is equal to, greater than, or less than. I'm trying to think of a simple way to, so... I guess I could use the sign. No, I couldn't. Match true, then you can use comparison statements. Pattern you were trying to match to is true. Yes. This is just what I would write if I just chained. Deck number is a poorly formed variable here, I'm realizing. Because I'm always subtracting 1 from it. If I wrote this out, it would also just say elif ship manager current layer greater than deck number, but it's implied, so I don't actually need to write this out. So match true, then you can use comparison statements. Yeah, I'm still not super comfortable with match, but So I'd evaluate it here. You're saying I'd evaluate it up here, and then I would match off of the, I'd say like true. Or are you saying to do the opposite? Type as I suggested. Yes, Sensei. Oh, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. And then I take these as the patterns here. This expression in match pattern must be a constant expression. An identifier or attribute access. Yeah, I feel like I don't understand how I would do this in a match. Parentheses. Because then we're just getting a thing. Yeah, it doesn't seem to love this. Oh, my arithmetic. Oops. Is that really where the problem is? Yeah, it doesn't seem to love this in any form here. Constant expression, identifier, or attribute access. Okay. Very unhappy with me. Yeah, I don't think it wants to do... Is it just upset about what's going on down here? I don't think so, but... Is it? Is that what it is? No. Does that property exist? It should. Is it because I'm accessing it as a node and not as like a custom class or something? Where's our ship manager? Current layer. Yeah, that's the property we were setting earlier. Or we were setting up. It's because it doesn't know what it is. I don't know. Oh well. Feel like we should probably just do this. Which is simpler. If this case was more complicated, like if we were evaluating more things, the match would probably be worthwhile, but we're just doing this. But I want to learn more about match. Match seems cool. I was reading about match and how it works with... By the way, if statements are the faster option in most languages, true. I'm not going to lie if I say that I often optimize for like organization over speed sometimes, which I guess is okay normally, but I just think match is super cool. Some of the stuff you can do where you're evaluating like the results of like dictionaries or like a multi-dimensional arrays or something. Some of the stuff you can do where you can selectively ignore parts of the patterns in match, it seems really cool. But yeah, for our use case, it is not needed. Probably gets in the way. So if the ship manager is, so if our current layer is the same as our layer, we'll do something. If the current layer is less than, so if it's less than, we're basically going to clear the whole thing. And if it's greater than, we'll do something else. I think we'll do greater than first and then end up with less than as the implied. Because if it's less than, we're just going to be like visible equals false. We're just going to be like really dumb. If it's greater than, we need to clean up the cutaway. I think. Maybe not. That's what we were doing here. So if the layer, if our layer is the same, this is what we were going to do. So let's just throw that here. Or, I don't love calling it tile cell. I kind of just like tiles. Tile cells by layer, we do not need to store this. We can just say for tile in hull tiles, variable tile on layer. We don't need this, I don't think. We don't need like any of our tile specific math here. Cutaway coordinates. Oh, I guess we need the coordinates. So if we are the chosen one, before we iterate through our hull tiles, we need to do our we need to get our accumulator here. We need to do this. We actually don't need to declare this variable. We could just say this. Don't need a variable for that. So we can do basically this. But for xy. These variables need to be set. Set these after we do this part. On minimum extents? Yeah, we do. Not a float. It's a vector 2. Vector 2i. Cutaway. Coordinates xy. So I could just go, wish I could just grab subsections of a vector without having to remake it. Clamp F, so that's not gonna work. We could take the variant version of it. What was I doing for this? I was like doing it piece by piece. Yeah, this is how I was doing it, like this. We can't clamp the whole vector, we need to clamp the components of it. Wait. Thinking about your get parent situation, since we use it in process, I think it might bug out. No reference since parent is not ready before child is ready. Will it call process for the first time before it's called ready on its parent? I'm not super familiar with like the startup routine for all this stuff. I understand how it like works its way across the tree or up the tree, I guess. But I would not expect any process calls to happen until all of the ready calls happen. The child process will be called before, you mean the child process will be called before the parent process? Not that it will be called before the parent ready. Is that what you mean? Oh, we don't even have a parent ready. So, it won't bug. I guess it might bug out the very first frame. No, the very first frame we just take the top level. Child process will be called before parent is ready. You can guard, I could guard against it. Yeah. Use an early return. Yeah, we could do that. I mean, that's interesting. I didn't realize that. That also means there's going to be a 1 frame delay on getting new inputs then, huh? Because the child will run before the parent. Because we're updating the accumulator. We're getting the input here every frame on the parent. We're also doing it on the child. So that's an issue with just the startup, just the first time. That's interesting. Affects what is called first when nodes are attached to the scene. Oh, okay. So when something enters the tree or whatever. Scene tree. Interesting. Okay, so it's just, so we just need to defend against it the first time. Okay. That can be done. So we need to defend against... Do we really need to have a null check every time we run the process? Would be fine if you didn't use the parent property in process or physics process. Huh. It's interesting. Okay. Let's think about how we're going to defend against that. You obviously have a good solution. If not parent property, return. I just don't want to do that every single time just to defend against it one time, but it's not like, I guess it's not the worst. Let's do it now. That's a good call, and we'll fix it later, I guess. Don't love that. So what am I doing? Oh yeah, I'm breaking this apart too. I mean, it's an open question of whether we actually really need to do that on the parent. Have this layer accumulation. We were just doing it to avoid doing it on every child redundantly. I mean, it helps to only have this defined once, but... What property is that for? The property is... We're basically setting which of these... We're processing the input that shifts between layers, and we're determining which of the layers is active, or, you know, what we currently are on. What I should call the topmost layer, but I'm calling it current layer because I'm using topmost layer to define something else, which is not great. I should rename that. This shouldn't be topmost layer. This should be, or deck. This should be like deck, or I don't know, layer count. It's not a layer count. Layers are something else. Deck count. And then top deck. I don't know. Deck count -1. It's for Y sorting? No, it's since these are different tile maps, we're determining which of these is on top. Because the one on top we're going to use for our cutaway system, which is not just removing whole layers, it's about cutting into the layer. So we'll be peeling back layers of walls and stuff. And or maybe doors. But definitely walls. We'll start with walls and we'll see how we feel. We were doing everything before, and we might go back to that. Just like peeling it back like an onion. Song is hilarious to me. We don't use current layer anymore. Now we call it top deck. Top deck in here. But again, we could just calculate this number on each child. Doesn't need to be on a parent. Why not set the z-index on the layers in the tile map? Yes, that is... So the problem with that is if you set the z-index on the layers in the tile map, so like let's say each of these 4 decks were just layers in a tile map instead of being their own tile map, then, and each deck had its own z-index, when you tried to insert a scene collection, it would trivially work for like these kinds of tile sets, just like sprite sheets. But if you try to set a scene collection that way, the scene collection does not take on the z-index of the tile map layer. It will take on the z-index of the tile map. So the z-index we set under ordering, as long as z is set to relative on the child. But it won't actually respect... So it'll work for whatever the lowest one is with like the lowest z-index. We can get doors to work. But if we try to place... and the doors are the only scene collections I have. But if we try to place scene collections on the higher layers, the scene collection will just render behind everything because its z-index won't scale by the layer. So what you were talking about as like the new feature on 4.3 stable, I was really hoping that is gonna like fix this. Actually having tilemap node layers being their own tilemap nodes, I think is what you told me it is. I'm hoping that will fix this problem because right now we're having to use a separate tile map for each vertical deck here so that we actually get the correct z-indexes on scene collections. Oh my god, Jotson. Jotson rating with a party of 79. We are not prepared. We are not prepared. We're panicking a little bit. Hey, Jotson. I have no words. I am a big fan of yours. Don't panic, we're nice. You mean your chatters aren't like a pile of goblins? Raid message is always be prepared. Is this where we can have the FTL? Eventually. So we're working on an FTL-like in Godot. Very early days. This is episode 31. We came for FTL. You know, come back in a couple of years. No, I'm just kidding. We're working on it. It's still really early days. Captain Fubar and I have been working over some refactoring here. So we're making kind of an isometric side-on FTL game. But yeah, Johnson, I've been really enjoying watching your ship container game jam that's turned into like game jam game that seems to have just grown. I ride BART through Oakland all the time, and now every time I see the West Oakland loading and on like the shipyard, the port of Oakland, it's like what I think of. It's fun to see all the cranes working and stuff. But yeah, we are possibly goblins, so there's possibly some goblins here. You know, aren't we all on some level a bit of a goblin? But yeah, we're making, instead of a top-down game like FTL is, we're making a sort of side-on pseudo isometric game. This is like a shot that I made of like what a bridge scene might look like. We're going for kind of a classic Star Trek look, very low res. There are some cursed problems that we've run into because of this kind of side-on. We're having a lot of obfuscation issues with wall layers, so we've come up with a cutaway system that lets us peel back layers of the tile maps and reveal the walls behind it. But for 3 captains, no, there's like, you know, there's some, I might have gone overboard with the number of people in this scene. There's some executive officers, you know. The red shirts are expendable, but the gold shirts, you know, you need a few of them. You can't just have Kirk. You also need, you know, Sulu and Chekhov. But anyway, so we've been stacking layers to this, and we've been having some problems with tilemap because isometric tilemaps don't play nice with scene collections. So we've been refactoring this here so that we have each layer as a separate tile map, but now we're reworking our code so that we can peel these walls back layer by layer, as well as peeling the whole decks, what I'm calling decks, down layer by layer, because we both need vertical cutaway and like horizontal cutaway so that you can actually see into. Kind of the inspiration of some of this look is maybe like a Wes Anderson movie set, kind of like Life Aquatic or something, where you're like seeing into the sides of the ship. We definitely want that kind of a vibe. But yeah, we've been struggling to adapt some of my code here. So peel the ship. Yeah, of course we're in the middle of a refactor, so there's nothing that I can show. But that is how this goes, right? Anyway, thank you, Raiders, for stopping by. Thank you for all the follows. Grumble of Pugs, Carbon X Punk, Epic Ninja Elephant, Todd Makes, Maps Are Tight. I really appreciate all of it. I don't know if you had to raid and run, Jotson, but I'm interested in hearing about what you were working today, how the stream was. ILIAD Dev was already following. Woo! One of my 30 pre-existing followers from before this raid. Shout out ILIAD Dev. Well, then we'll just wait around until there's something to show. Yeah, we can stream for another 45 minutes or so. I have a day job, so I stream every morning for a few hours, usually around 7-ish until, usually a little after 7 until a little before 10 a.m. Pacific time. Because my day job does not get my peak energy and my creative juices here. That is, I reserve that for Twitch chat and for this game. I feel like my early morning ambient music is no longer a match for the energy we've got going on here. Time zones be crazy. Yeah, I know. I love streaming at this time. I love how international the Twitch audience is, especially at this time. I get lots of people from here to like Eastern Europe. It's a really nice time streaming for what is the morning for me. So I think it's really great. Anyway, we copied over a bunch of code from our system back when we had to manually handle the layers. So we are kind of picking our way through it and changing things so that it works. So we don't need to define this variable because we need to actually clamp. We need to set the accumulator axis by axis. Play some Doom music. I don't know if we have Doom music. We're using Pretzel Rocks. I usually play the chill stuff. I could play some drum and bass. We've got drum and bass on here. Just add to my anxiety. Let's do that. That sounds fun. I've never checked out this station. You're just memeing. Now, I mean, when the Doom music hits, man. ILIAD Dev, quoting me, I think. I reserve my peak creativity for my project, then go to work. Pearls of wisdom have been distributed. Yeah. That's how it goes. I mean, I like my day job, don't get me wrong. But it is very different than this. I'm still really new to streaming, still really new to Godot. But so far, it's been a real trip here. I've been getting a lot of help from viewers. Getting a lot of wisdom distributed to me by people that are way more familiar with this than I am. I'm like a Unity refugee. Picked up Godot last year for reasons. Way more familiar with like Unity and C# and all that biz, but I was like, I'm gonna pick up Godot. The Godot 2D support is incredible. Having like proper native 2D stuff. It's amazing. I decided to try to learn GDScript instead of C#, which has been a choice. It has been a choice. Clamp.x. Lucas G. Molina, thank you for the follow. Really appreciate it. So supposedly adding return types to function helps with performance. So doing func ready void is better than not having. Oh yeah. So you mean like saying ready void process void. I've been on that train for sure. I am definitely way more comfortable historically with statically typed languages. Like I'm much more comfortable with like a statically typed language like C# than I've been with, you know, like JavaScript stuff or like a Python or things like that. So it's been a lesson. I've been trying to avoid doing that a ton just right off the bat, going too hard onto statically typing things, but I do love when the little numbers on the left side here turn green, which I guess is their hint. None of it's green right now because I have some errors here, but you can turn on automated type hints for Godot internal methods. Ooh, I need to do that. Life hack. Lucas G. Molina, can you talk more about why GDScript has been a choice? It's just like familiarity. I think hitting the ground, if I wanted to come into Godot and, you know, do a big project like I've committed to here, I think it would have been better to do something like Sorcery Story, like a really great C# Godot dev who was able to migrate most of their C# code. So it does feel very weird starting out. There's definitely things that I expect to be able to do that I can't do, just mostly syntactical things. Like what if I have a vector 3 and I just want the xy? Why can't I just say, you know, .xy? Like, or function overloads. Like, why can't I have the same function names that just have various, have different parameters? I think you can do that with signals. You can change it somewhere in your options to add void when code gets generated. Oh, okay. You can turn on editor settings, search for something hints. Let's do it. I definitely need the hints because Captain Foobar is not always here to assist me. So show internal errors in toast notifications. I don't think that's right. Completion, add type hints. That. Did we do it? Did we win the video game here? How is that going to appear? I look forward to seeing that appear. Try func ready. It might not work because I have like errors. I think I should probably resolve these errors. While typing, it will offer the return type. Okay. Okie doke. Why is this unhappy with me? Oh, I don't have the closing parentheses over here. Oh my god. Alright. Let's just hide this for a second. This is all the code I copied over that has like none of the variables or anything. Oh yeah, look at them green numbers on the side. All right, let's type. Let's do this. I want to see this in action here. Was it doing? Did it try to do it and I just passed through it? Oh, look at this. Sick. Sick. Also lower the autocomplete and error delay in the project settings or editor settings. Delay. Code complete delay. 0.3 seconds. Yeah, that's too slow. Who has 0.3 seconds to wait? Let's make it 0.2 seconds. Let's see if I actually notice it. Let's make it 0.1 second. Okay, yeah, that showed up as soon as I typed it. Yeah, I think that's I think that's fast enough now. Okay, back to what we were doing. So we're adapting a bunch of code that was very layer conscious because it was each of these separate tilemap decks, which I'm calling them decks. They're decks of the ship, but each of these were basically layers in a single tilemap. And I've explained why that didn't work for us. Happy to explain it again. Has to do with scene collections and z-index not being set correctly per layer. So now we need to take a bunch of code that was parsing through layers of a tilemap and have them work independently for each tilemap, which has its own script. So that's the refactoring we're doing right now. You put those to 0.5 and 0.1. Well, mine was 0.3 and it was too slow. Oh no, 0.1 like this one, and then idle parse delay. What does this do? Oh. So you have it at 0.5 and 0.1. That seems fine. Let's go with, I'm gonna set it to 1. Ooh, I'll try that. I definitely like the 0.1. I do like the parse errors in GDScript. They're good compared to maybe some of the dynamically typed stuff that I'm used to, like Google Apps Script. I love how many errors are like should be compile time errors and they're runtime errors because AppScript can't be bothered to check that stuff for you. I guess GDScript doesn't always check it either, but it checks its error checking is much better. Captain Fubar, I recreated an example for myself. The nodes from the scene collection are just added as child nodes to the tilemap node. Clearly the 4.3 implementation of tile layers will deal with that. I am really hoping, because I don't know, when I was adding scene collections, like expand collab branch, how do I make it so I can see my children within my tilemap in the editor? Can I not? Is that like something that I can only see in runtime? Run the game remote scene. Yeah, so that's the problem. Right now, that's not acceptable to us because we are creating these tilemaps in the editor. So we need this to work in the editor. Once I implement an in-game ship editor, once we can make these tiles, these ship things within the game, assuming that's a thing that I do, then we have a lot more freedom to do stuff like that. And then maybe under that circumstance, we can go back to just having one tile map for everything. You're making me really regret doing this stuff if all I have to do is wait for 4.3 and or just do the editing in the within the while the game is running. We're really trying to just do the least as far as like how much setup we need for all this stuff, but I do think an in-game ship editor is a feature that we want. I considered doing a ship editor within the editor using like a tool script so that we had some additional functionality and we could do stuff like grab the child node as it enters the scene and, you know, fix its z-index and stuff. But playing with the scene tree from a tool script editor seems to be kind of temperamental. I'm a little scared. Cubus Dev, thank you for the follow. Really appreciate everyone stopping by for what I thought was going to be a very quiet refactoring stream. So we can take... So we don't need any of this stuff anymore. We don't need the absolute mapping or the relative mapping because we are not having to map tiles onto their layer. We're getting that for free because we're using separate tile maps. So I will get rid of that. So we don't need relative mapping. Use tile map data load time. So layer, coords. All we need to do is map No, we don't need to do any. We get away with a lot now. Because before, when it was one tile with multiple layers, everything was being mapped onto this single tile map plane. And so we needed to account for the height differences between each of the layers. But we don't have to do that anymore. So that's nice. So a lot of this code is no longer necessary. So cutaway tiles has, so we can just say coords. Quick side, yeah, your tool can be a mess, says Lucas. I believe so. Quick side trip to 4.3.dev in about 20-minute adventure. Yeah, exactly. The Rick and Morty meme. The only alternative to your situation besides having 4 tile maps is to just have 1 tile map and deal with the scene collection yourself. Yes, true. Have a scene manager for each deck. Use a specific tile for door placement on tile map loading. Iterate over that. Add the scene to each specific layer. That is not a bad solution. And I might get so sick of having to copy objects between these tile map layers that we might end up doing something like that. I did not want to have to make like an in-game editor tool or like an in-game loading system that would interpret that, but that's not that bad. Like I could just have flat stand-ins for things that are complex, like these doors that are scene collections. I could just have flat stand-ins for the doors, like door proxy or something like that. And then yeah, I could have a system that goes through on start and replaces the proxies, the node proxies, with the actual nodes. Is that better? That's probably better. It's probably better in a lot of ways. You use that technique for placing enemy spawners with a non-visible tile map. Well, that makes a lot of what we were doing today kind of futile. It's probably significantly better to do it that way. Then we can just use our existing cutaway code. Okay. All right, Fubar, you sold me. So how are we gonna do that? I guess what I should do is make a sprite sheet of our doors, which are the only nodes that we actually care about at the moment. The only scene collections. You derailed me. Derailed me, Captain Fubar. I thought I knew what I was gonna do. Let's make this sufficiently large. No, it's good. I am going to try to not shy away from permanent solutions to these things. No, we don't want to edit the palette. We just want to load my palette. I am going to try to avoid hacky solutions in as many places as possible and actually have a better long-term solution here. So let's grab our doors. So because some of these doors are... Oh my god, this music is more than I was anticipating. How close are you to finish refactoring? Not close. So we have these animated doors, but because they are bigger than one tile, we've had to split them up. So we'll take each segment. So what is the size of these things? Canvas size. 32. And we have... And what about the... So let's grab all of these. All right, so we got the dynamic blast doors. We also need our single door, which exists somewhere. I have too many names, too many duplicates of basically the same thing. Door dynamic, that's got to be it, right? Yeah, okay. This one we can take whole cloth because it is a single piece. And what is its size? These might not... So that's just 24. Maybe can't fit these all on the same sprite sheet. But we're going to try. You know of the III initiative, bunch of big indie studios. They're going to have an announcement in a couple of minutes. Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot. That's cool. III initiative. Showcase. What is that going to mainly be? We're going to be, like, getting to see the latest trailers for, like... Okay. We're going to be getting to see stuff for Silk Song, and announcements from Megacrit of Slay the Spire, Red Hook Studios of Darkest Dungeon, Evil Empire of Dead Cells. Wednesday's 45-minute showcase will stream on YouTube, Twitch, and Steam. And we'll also feature exclusive. It starts at 10 a.m. So that's in like 30 minutes. Well, I'm definitely going to go watch that after this. But my stream will be over by 10 a.m. When where? We can probably, if anyone's got the link to where. It says Twitch, YouTube, etc. If they go live before 10, we'll raid. Like right in there. Yeah, post it. Oh, they have the YouTube link as well. I thought it said Twitch too. III initiative showcase. I don't know how to spell triple. Twitch. So here's the so I got the Twitch link. I just need to find this channel. Yeah, we're gonna raid that for sure. As soon as they go live. Someone keep an eye on that. All right, so we got like 20 minutes. Okay, let's lay out this sprite sheet for what's going to be our proxies. Oh, this is too big. That's fine. We'll lay it out and then we'll shrink it. Why is this off by 1? Oh, it's because I set it up as being off by 1. Anyhow, the placeholder proxy solution is quite simple to implement. Yes, it is. It sounds quite simple. We are going to flip these. We'll swap them here. I know. We're doing it on the sprite sheet because we're just going to lay them out as tiles. And I don't want to make the alternative tiles because I don't like how alternative tiles work. But what I will do is I will put these on a different row. I guess if I put them on a different row, I want to flip them back. So that's fine for the double doors. So that is, we can change this, just 64 by 64. Anchor to the top. Okay, save as double door proxies. Yeah, I know I only need one version. I just don't want to do the one version because yeah, alternative tiles suck. Like, it'd be one thing if it was just a bit and you would just say like alternative tile and it's just, but each alternative tile you make iterates the alternative tile identifier. So you can't just say, here's my Atlas chord of alternative tiles and then flip a bit that says it's the alternative version of a specific source ID and Atlas chord. It's like every single Atlas or every single alternative tile iterates that identifier, and I hate that, so I don't use that. For this one, we might do it just because this is going to be like just... I don't want this to be the opposite of what we have here, but whatever. Save as... door proxy. Not GIF. We want a PNG. Didn't actually really need to save the ACE versions of these. Do you want to export? No. We don't want any animation. How do I just do that? Layers. No. Frames. Selected frame. Just want the first. Same here. Oh, that won't matter here. Okay. So we've got our proxies. We need to add them to tilemap, the tile set here. Let's door proxy. No. I mean, I didn't want it to, but I guess now I do. Can I just do this? Texture res. Normally I can just... Oh, here we go. It doesn't know. Click on the 3 dots. Create Yeah, why is that just straight up not working? Weird. Single door. Sad face? I'm trying. I'm left clicking for the wind here. I've not had this problem before. Whatever. Just let the engine do it for me. Yes. Oh, it still didn't do it. Why is that? Oh, is it the region too big? 24 by 32? That's weird. Dot card, thank you for the follow. Why this no likey here? Single door. Not had this problem before. Sad face. Let's add the dynamic, the double door. Blast door, proxies. Okay, it worked here. Maybe it's not happy because it's not actually an atlas. It's just like a single tile. Okay. If you insist. Get rid of these. Get rid of all these. Don't worry, we have this saved somewhere else. Click on texture, texture, res, local path name, 24 by 30. Change resource type. Doesn't seem to be a... Oh. Right click? No. Whatever. I mean, it's not technically an atlas. I'm not going to be upset with them. We're going to make it an atlas. Now it'll probably... Or is it just upset with us? 30. Okay. The texture region was too big. Oops. The texture region exceeded. Okay, so let's substitute these in here, I guess. We need to set the offsets anyway. Why isn't it showing the cool diamond? Weird. It's helpful when it's showing the diamond. This one shows the diamond. It's also very wrong. Being very temperamental today. Why won't you remove the tiles in the fully transparent texture regions? Why are they still here? I can't select them, so maybe they are gone. What is the diamond collision? It's just like a visualizer that helps for isometric. It just shows where it is on the isometric tile thing. So it's just a little easier for me to visualize, like being able to see that through line. I think it's this. We'll start trying to place them. So let's grab this. Let's get rid of our door here. Oops. Let's get to the door layer, for one thing. And let's grab our doppelgangers here. So that's wrong. That's fine. We can fix that. So it also needs to be offset. This. For another example of these that I can see, there are none. Beautiful. Let's just undo this then. It was like this. Okay. All right. Fine. Do we know where it should be now? All right. Yeah, this looks like it's going to be pretty good. I guess I could actually just look at the door scenes and grab their double door, lower y-axis. It's there? Okay. So that's over by a few, down by a few. That should be right. And it is. Okay, we got doppelgangers. Whenever you need to apply the same setting on all tiles, use the paint mode. Yeah, that sounds good. Okay, so this is almost right. The single doors just need to go up by one. Or down by one. Maybe it's down by one. Because they need to shove up. Yeah, okay, cool. Alright, so we got proxies. We got proxies. I will, I guess in my own time, move these over here. Set this back up as a single tile map. What are you doing over here? And then just we'll be able to use our existing cutaway code. And we'll just need to create some on-ready stuff to like swap in the proxies for the actual nodes. Okay, thanks Fubar. That was a good idea. I think that's going to be really helpful in the long run. It better prepares us for what will hopefully be support for this sort of thing directly in 4.3. And then if it isn't supported in 4.3, who cares? We'll have a workaround. All right, it's 15 minutes until the III thing. I'm gonna go check to see if it's live. They're currently offline. Oh no, they're not. They're currently online. But it's just a countdown. It's a countdown that says 0 people are watching, which I don't believe. Oh, they've been live for 30 seconds. Okay, well, they're live on Twitch. Oh, 1,300 people are watching. That's more right. Yeah, it's counting. It's going. It's climbing. All right, well. 8K now. It is just climbing. 6.8K, 8K. Well, since 8,000 people are watching, I don't think we're going to raid that. I'd just say mark your calendars and, you know, check it out in 15 minutes. We're going to raid a Godot developer. We're going to raid an awesome Godot developer. Sorcery Story? Probably the one. They do the Godot C# stuff. They're really great. We'll go through there, check them out, hang out with them for like 15 minutes, and then watch this thing. Yeah, Sorcery, Jackie. Oh, ILIAD is on right now. Oh, Johnson, there you are. Thank you so much. Thank you for the raid. That was awesome. Let's do ILIAD. I did Sorcery Story last time. Let's keep it in the community. ILIAD was just here a minute ago. They are live. What are they working on right now? Oh, they're wrapping their functions. Yeah, let's pay it forward. Thank you all so much. This has been great. Do I need to wrap the channel in brackets? I've raided one time. Raid ILIAD dev. That should be it. All right, here we go.